Here we are, it's outside, it's fall time, it is September, and guess what? The sun is shining today. Now, I gotta tell you, this is gonna be the last sunny day we're gonna see in quite some time, so I wanted to do a little video outside and just to show that summer's not over yet, even though fall colors are here and everything's changing. So, what's today about? Today's about rent to own. Do you do rent to own? Should you do a rent to own? And what are the pros and cons? So let's get into it. First, rent to own. I have done rent for own. I've bought property, put them out there as rent to owns. I did this between 1995 and 2005. Now, nobody bought the place. Nobody. And these places were worth considerably more at the end of the day when the rent to own came up, and they just didn't do it. So I don't exactly know why they didn't do it, but no one ever bought the place. So if you want to do this, you got to be committed to doing the rent to own. But, a lot of people won't do it. So as a property owner, should you do rent to own? Absolutely. I think it's a great thing. People give you a deposit, you get a little extra in rent, and then 2 years later, they buy the property off you, or 3 years later. Most people don't do it. It's as simple as that. If you're watching this and you want to do rent to own, you got to be very careful who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with somebody like me, it's not a problem. 9 out of 10 times if you're doing rent to own, you could have bought that property anyways in today's dollars. Interest rates are 2.5%, going maybe to 3%. Property prices are down in Calgary. Great opportunity. So you say, hey, I'm going to rent to own, build up some equity, then I'll buy the place. But the numbers are clear. 9 out of 10 people do not do this. So, should you rent to own? My answer is yes, if the situation is correct. And like all things, there's context to what that means. What that means is rent to own can work out very well for you. Let's say you need a little time to save up some money. Landlord's going to gift you some equity. Say it's a $200,000 property. They're going to gift you, say, $10,000 in 2 years. 5% down. That's legal in Alberta. You can do that. I could gift you $20,000 if I wanted. It all depends on how you set it up. So you have to be really careful. The ones that are not gifting you much equity, the rent's really high, they're not very good. I think they're ripping people off. And I run into this all the time, people phoning and asking me, oh, should I do this rent to own? 99% of the time, I've sold them the property next door for less money, 5% down. They qualify. They just don't realize they qualify. 0% down really isn't an option, but you can use RSPs, get an RSP loan, lots of things you can do there. So, should you rent to own? And I wanted to make this really quick and easy. The downfall to rent to own is you got to take the property where it is. This is the biggest thing. I want to rent to own, but I want to rent to own that house right there, or that house over there. I don't want to rent to own this house that's offered. I want to do that one. Well, guess what? The people that do rent to own, they have to buy these properties, they fix them up, and then they do the rent to own. So you got to take what's there. And a lot of times, you don't really want that one. So rent to own doesn't work for you. And remember, if you don't complete on the contract, you get nothing. Your deposit is gone. The equity that they're going to give you for renting and owning is gone. You just move on. And that's the beauty of it. No commitment. So if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything. You're just gone. And me, because I did this quite a bit, no one ever bought the property. Properties went up in value, I put it back out there at rent to own. Another 2 years, another 3 years. I had one guy renew 3 times. Think about that. 3 times. So first 2 years. This is quite a few years ago when the prices in Calgary were considerably less. So you got to put this and think about this, because you can't buy these places today. They're about $225. But I bought this place for 90 grand, fixed it up. Might have been worth 120 grand. Put it out there for rent to own. The purchase price was 140. They gave me a $5,000 deposit, rent to own. They have to fix anything that's broken. I didn't have to do it. They paid more in rent, and then I was gifting, at the end of the 2 years, $10,000. They didn't buy it. The place was worth about 140. But remember, you're getting $10,000 for free. So you really, 130, still didn't do it, but wanted to renew. He said, Randy, want to do 2 more years? I know it hasn't worked out, and I really can't do it right now, but I really want to do it in 2 years. I said, well, it's worth 140 now. 2 years from now, let's make it 165. It looked like the market was doing pretty good, and I wanted to see if the guy would go for it. He went for it. He already got $10,000 in rent to own. So I said, look, I'll transfer that to the next one. Do it another 2 years, I'll give you another 10. So now you got 20 grand. 2 years came around, didn't buy the house. Nah, things weren't right. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Place was worth, I think 165 was a little high, to be honest with you, but whatever. Want to do another 2 years. Guess what? We're coming up to 2005 here. So we did another 2 years, and I did it at 200,000, just to see if he would go for it. And he went for it, because you got to remember, another 10 grand in equity bill. I transferred the 20 over, and I said, look, I'll give you 20,000 in equity. Do another 2 years. Put the rent up because the prices were up. He was totally okay with it. Came due. When it came due, his buyout was $200,000. I was gifting 30 grand to him. Now, what was the benefit to me? Well, for 6 years, I got really good rent. I probably got $300 a month more than I should have. But I'm gifting 30 grand. That's a lot of money. Do the math on that. Hit pause. Do the math. But I'm getting 170. I only bought the place for $90,000. So, I expected this guy to buy it. That place would have sold, because the market started to take off, 230 to 240,000 in a second. I told the guy, listen, you have a contractor, you get this for 200 grand, and I'm gifting you 30,000 in equity. 170 was what he had to come up with and qualified for. He could have turned around and sold it for 230. I even told him, you want to list it right now at 230? We'll put it on at 230. I get 70, you keep the rest. Moved. Didn't buy it. I was shocked. And I stopped doing rent to own at that point in time because I said, man, this is crazy. And then the market took off. I had a few properties. I wanted to sell a couple of them. So I did the long-term tenant. And here we are, 2019. Well, I'm back to rent to own. And I'm telling everyone else, you got revenue property, you should be doing rent to own. Permanent tenants, 2 years out, 3 years out, whatever you want to do. I personally think people taking advantage of this will do pretty good. But also, if you do want to take advantage of this, I'm going to be honest with you. You can probably buy a place right now and do better. So if you see this and you want to see whether or not you can actually buy a place, give me a call. Second of all, you come across a rent own. There aren't very many out there. Nobody wants to do them. But I've decided I'm going to start doing them again. So first, got to find the properties, got to put them out there, and then see if people want to take them. It's a pretty simple, easy thing to do. From a landlord perspective, it worked out really well, and I should have just kept doing it. But I didn't. So now I'm going to get back into it again. And we'll see how it goes. I think the numbers are going to stay the same. 9 out of 10 will not do it and move on to something else. Mainly because I think maybe they don't like the location and whatnot. But people say they'll save money and never save any money. So there you go on rent to own. It's a beautiful autumn day here in Calgary. The sun is shining, as you can see. It's nice and bright. I'm probably look funny because of the sun. And the colors are changing. Get out there, enjoy it. Head on out to Lake Louise and go to Larch Valley or Tamarack Valley. You know, we've got a couple different names for the spruce trees that change color. It's absolutely beautiful at this time of year in the next week. Snow's coming for Friday, so, you know, maybe we'll do a snow video for next week while it's snowing. Anyways, there's your rent to own. I hope that helps you out a lot. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button. Or give me a call, and we'll get real estate going for you. Now get out there. Have a great day.